मिला दे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDA चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDA चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
On the show tonight, time for a very hard stand against the dirty, vulgar platforms promoting filth in the name of entertainment. The government drops the ultimatum. At 9 p.m. this evening, in response to your tremendous support, it is the Republic Network's relentless campaign, No Cricket with Pakistan. We must not play. We must all come together to make sure there is no game with Pakistan in the name of the Asia Cup or anything else. Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, the big news of the day is that in a significant crackdown against objectionable digital content, the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, MIB, has ordered the complete blocking of 25 OTT platforms and many websites which are publishing obscene, vulgar and pornographic material. Among those on whom the hammer goes, ULLU, millions of subscribers, crores of monthly income. ALT, owned by Balaji Telefilms, crores of subscribers, lots of dirty content, hundreds of crores in monthly revenue. Then there is something called Moji Flicks, something called Moodex, something called Look Entertainment, dirty content, thousands of crores, ladies and gentlemen, that these people are making by going to the lowest of the low. My problem with these people is that they cater to the lowest of the lowest of the lowest of the low. And in the name of creativity, ladies and gentlemen, these people are responsible, in my view, for creating the content that leads to the worst of crimes against women. Ladies and gentlemen, today, it's a very dangerous combination. Cheap bandwidth, cheap mobile data, hundreds of apps, lots and lots and lots of soft porn content being created, which can land in anyone's hands, including children. We are told crores of children are downloading this kind of soft porn content. And there are these apps like ALT, like ULLU. They don't care about society. They don't care about the country. They don't care about children. They don't care about women. They just want to make the most money in the easiest way possible. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody should support, financially or otherwise, these kind of organizations. In fact, the hammer should go on these kind of organizations which believe that they can have a dual policy as far as content is concerned. Make a film that is seen to be pro the ruling party on the one side through one vehicle, and then make a lot of cheap content on the other and think you'll balance it out, then make a serial which says that, oh, we are promoting middle-class values. And this duality, ladies and gentlemen, essentially, if you're directly or indirectly part of the same corporate enterprise, this duality of content means that all you're trying to do is make money with whichever way possible. And that is why what the government has done today is very good. In fact, I was giving up hope that the government would ever act against something like this. But today, we are all together in saying, damn good what the government has done. Now, we need to be careful because these are business people. These people will find some other route to put out the dirty content. You see, it's like a drug. And I really believe that people, and I'm not saying it for any particular reason, I believe people like Ekta Kapoor and Swara Bhaskar should raise their voice a little bit today. Ekta Kapoor and Swara Bhaskar, and many more. And why just them? I believe the so-called greats of our entertainment industry, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, the Khans, should also speak up and say, this was long overdue. You can't distance yourself whenever you think it's convenient to you. Ladies and gentlemen, if a platform is found guilty of vulgar and obscene content. My question is, should there be any complaint filed against them under the Bharatiya Nyaya Sandhita or the IT Act? Should arrests happen? Should interrogation happen? Should monetary penalties be imposed on these people? Because these are big margin businesses. You spend 1 rupee, you make 10 rupees of profit. You know why? Because you're selling semi-pornographic content for 20 rupees for quite a few downloads. And you're playing on volume, which means it's like hardcore narcotics. You want this content to spread across the country so that you can collect digitally as much money as possible and ruin our country forever. Ladies and gentlemen, this network is beholden to only one philosophy of nation first. And we believe that if we all come together, we can create enough pressure on these creators of dirty content that they are made to face absolutely the worst kind of punishment and maximum penalties. If they've made 1,000 crores, we demand they be fined at least 2,000 crores. How can they be sitting on all the money that they've profited from? All their profits must be snatched away from them. Ladies and gentlemen, they will have to be made monetarily, legally, and criminally liable. Let's debate.
Distorted relationships, cheating, voyeurism, and all things sex. This is the new formula for survival for many OTT platforms. From promoting sensual content for engagement to even resorting to incest portrayal, there is no limit that these OTT shows have not crossed. In the first major crackdown on objectionable digital content, the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting has banned 25 OTT platforms. These banned platforms include Ekta Kapoor's ALT Balaji, ULLU, Big Shots app, Neonex, VIP and Desi Flix.
देखिए, सरकार का निर्णय संस्कृति को लेके, भारत को लेके ज़रूरी था। जहाँ पे ऐसे OTT जो लाइसेंस्ड हैं, अनलाइसेंस्ड हैं, वो सॉफ्ट पॉर्न बना रहे हैं या गलत फिल्में बना रहे हैं या गलत फिल्मों को प्रदर्शित कर रहे हैं। आप इंटरटेनमेंट पेश करें, लेकिन इंटरटेनमेंट की एक परिभाषा, एक उसकी एक लक्ष्मण रेखा होती है।
These apps are accused of publishing obscene, vulgar, and in some cases, pornographic material. They were found to be disseminating content that violated several provisions of Indian law. The action is not at all sudden. Multiple rounds of talks were held with these platforms. Violations were flagged in July-August 2024 by NCPCR. Official warnings were issued in September 2024 and an advisory was issued to these platforms in February 2025. Yet, these websites continued to violate guidelines by temporarily taking down and then uploading the problematic content back online. Many civil society organizations and politicians have raised the issue in the past.
इनको अगर बैन किया गया तो मैं समझता हूँ ये बहुत प्रशंसनीय है, इसकी सराहना करते हैं। अगर आपको याद हो तो सबसे पहले जो पिछली बार मैं IT और इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी कमेटी में था, तो सबसे पहले इसको बैन करने के लिए, रोकने के लिए, प्रतिबंध लगाने के लिए मैंने ही आवाज़ उठाई।
And finally, the action has been taken. But those who say Constitution is in danger take a completely different stand when Bharat's culture is in danger. They call it attack on freedom of expression.
देखिए, ऑब्सीन वल्गर कोई चीज हो तो उस पर रोक के आप उपाय कीजिए, लेकिन फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन पे जिस तरह से हमला होता है कि जो सरकार का विरोध कर रहा हो उसको जो बंद कर देते हैं, इस तरह के मतलब ये है कि वो चाहे वेबसाइट हो और चाहे वो यूट्यूब चैनल हो, वो गलत है, उसका हम विरोध कर रहे हैं।
Instead of asking for a stringent law and pushing for the crackdown, the opposition is backing such apps. Why should such apps, which go against the very essence of Indian culture, be allowed to even exist?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm quickly introducing today Akhil Swami, Rishikesh Singh, former stand-in counsel of the Government of India, Manvi Taneja and Vikrant Chaturvedi on one side. Okay, we have Akash Deep on the other. Producer, director Aniket Ujwal Nigam, Supreme Court advocate. and Advaita Kala. Advaita, now how is it taken so long? You are also right, for OTT platforms, etc., right? Now, this seems to be the quickest way to make money. Least investment, maximum return. I saw that one of these platforms was earning 300 crores per month. 300 crores per month is revenue, like 3,500 crores a year. And that's only one of them. How do you think they'll react to the ban? Will they find some other way to reach the paying consumer of such content?
Of course they will. Of course they will, Arnab, because it's all about money. It isn't about artistic freedom. It isn't about telling a story. It's about making money. And when there's that much money involved, they will find another way around it. And I think the authorities have to be vigilant. And that's almost 100% likelihood of that happening. And, it's just, I know this whole conversation gets spooled into something about creative freedom and freedom of expression, etc., etc. But the bottom line is, showing indecent acts between family members to titillate the lowest common denominator, which is basically the storytelling narrative in most of these OTTs, is not creative freedom. It's not expression. It's not even art of any form. So I think coming down on this and calling it what it is, soft porn, is absolutely the correct stance to take.
I don't know what really Ekta Kapoor has been doing, frankly, It's very bad. It's very bad. And despite being pulled up by the Supreme Court earlier, it's not like they don't know. They know they are under watch. But it's like a drug, Rishikesh thing. It's like a drug. This is the quickest way to make money. The Supreme Court in 2022 came down heavily on Ekta Kapoor over the objectionable content in her web series called XXX. She says XXX is the name of a web series, I don't know. Available on the OTT platform, which the court said you are polluting the minds of youngsters. But they didn't stop, Rishikesh. So obviously, they didn't stop despite all this. Why didn't they stop, in your view? Why didn't they stop making this kind of content?
No, Arnab, there are two issues. First is that there should be regulation rather than a ban. I am not in support of ban completely on these webs, whatever these.
What kind of regulation? Are you meaning a regulation? Should there be a regulatory body headed by Ekta Kapoor which should decide?
No, there is no regulatory body. But today I was listening to Ravi Kishan, who was advocating it that there should be a ban. Asked Ravi Kishan that how many of these Bhojpuri films were completely absurd and obscene scenes has been done by himself only. So where is that regulation has gone? Where is these Bhojpuri industries not banned at that moment of time? So today, and why these apps only? If you see Netflix, I have gone through the Netflix and Google searched. One search says that there are 45, not one. There are 45 such either the films or the series that have the obscene content. Will you ban the Netflix? No. You are doing it for these small-time apps because you know that these can be made as a political issue or to silence someone who is raising these kind of issues. Why the action has not been taken against those who have the bigger names, the Prime, Amazon? These also have the same contents. But because I am saying that because this ban is completely against the Article 19, because there has to be a regulation. There has to be a regulation to regulate those. The Supreme Court has said that there is a censor board for those who goes for the public viewing in the films and other platforms. Why there is no censorship? Why there is no regulatory body for the OTT? My question is
you can't have regulatory body on this. See, I'll tell you one thing. This is not a normal situation. You should see the kind of content these people have created. Exploitation of young girls underage by ULLU, ALT. There is something they call Katil Hasina. Season 1, Episode 1. 55 minutes of the 22-minute runtime is dedicated to exactly this content. And the report by the Department of Communications says it is created solely to titillate the lascivious and prurient interest of the audience. What legal language are you using?
No, the legal
These are
language-
horrible. At one time, there was a case against Ekta Kapoor and her mother, Shobha Kapoor, under the POCSO Act in October last year for showing inappropriate scenes involving minor girls in an episode of ALT Balaji's web series Gandhi Baat. After that, they changed the corporate structure. They went away from the board of directors. They went away from the board of directors. Allow me to complete. But they are still the promoters of the parent company. No, my point is something has to be done. The Supreme Court has reprimanded Ekta Kapoor. She only changed the corporate structure a little bit, but the content of ALT did not stop. It's very bad. It's very bad. And some of these people introduced a nudity clause in the contracts despite CBFC's concerns, to prevent actors from speaking up against any nude scenes in the scripts. So your business is of nudity. No, and none of our so-called big bosses of the entertainment industry are speaking up about this today. Amitabh Bachchan quiet, Khan's quiet, Karan Johar quiet. Oh, they're all our friends. Even the channels, besides Republic, is anyone talking? Why? Do corporate companies have conflict of interest going on there also? Now everybody's be quiet. Arnab should not
conflict of interest is also about being very, very selective, because you just ban a few people who do not have the power to resist, but you openly allow it to happen on the other mainstream channels. You allow it to happen in Bollywood films. You allow it to happen everywhere else. You allow it on Google. I mean, you have a problem with semi-porn. There's full-fledged porn which is available on Google, and nobody stops that. And as far as all this corruption of society is concerned, I'm sorry, all these OTT platforms have last appeared since the past, 4 or 5 years ago? Till then, was India a very pure, pious society with no kind of crime ever happening? No, I beg to differ. Also, I'm completely against obscenity myself. But obscenity doesn't just mean a little bit of skin show and showing some sexual scenes. There are far more obscene things when it comes to violence and terror.
I get it. What you're saying is, I get what you're saying. What you are saying, Vikrant. Vikrant, I'll tell you what you're saying. What Vikrant is saying is this. One minute, Vikrant. Vikrant is putting an interesting argument today, and I must commend and congratulate, first of all, Uday Mahurkar today, a senior journalist who's been former member of the Central Information Commission. If there's one man who's been carrying out a single-man war against this content, and he has faced so much backlash for it. And I asked him once that, Uday Dada, why are you picking this up? You're such a respected journalist. Why have you picked up this issue? So he said, I feel very strongly about it. He said all the crimes against women and children and POCSO cases are happening because of these people. I said, but Uday Dada, aren't these very big people, a lot of money? He said, let there be money, I will fight. This is the mission of my life. And I therefore want to congratulate you, Uday Dada. Many people told you that you're foolish, but you fought the difficult fight and you won.
Thank you.
How difficult has this fight been, and why did you pick it up?
Arnab?
Yes, Arnab.
How difficult has this fight been, and why did you pick it up?
You see, there was a film called Jism which has come 20 years ago. If you remember, which had Bipasa Basu, There were quite a few scenes which were very explicit in that. So I was moved, at that time, that if such content keeps on coming before our people, youngsters, youth, what will happen? Thereafter, I continued to fight, but I did not find any success. I tried to take all people from all communities together, Muslims, Christians, everybody. I got some support from Christian community at that time. But in 2018, when OTT came, things became very serious. Because, after the OTT came, soon after that, we saw COVID. During COVID, education shifted to phones, And there, the crisis became much more serious. Now, what OTT guys are serving. Ekta Kapoor has a film of 2020, about which I came to know only 3 years ago. There is a woman, there is a male in the family who is having sexual relations with his grandmother, with his stepmother, with his cousin sister, and with his bhabhi. Now, is this what you call creative freedom? So I was very moved, because you see, somehow, you see, we have done extensive research on this subject, and my Save Culture Save Our Health Foundation has actually proved that majority of the rape, to the extent of 80%, are being provoked by content. There is a Yogita Bahana, a leading anti-rape activist. There is one anti-rape activist in Surat. Both of them agree with me that majority of the rape cases are being provoked by
just a
sexually perverted
reflection
content.
of what the society is happening.
And the
Now,
rapes haven't
you see,
started
what is
happening.
happening?
It's just a reflection, whatever happens.
Oh, okay. Here is the argument. Here is the argument. Manvi, I would like to congratulate you for your Oscar-winning argument. Incest is a reality, we must show incest. Rape is a reality, we must picturize rape. Pedophilia is a reality, we must show pedophilia. To educate people against pedophilia, we must show pedophilia. That is the Oscar-winning argument of Manvi Taneja.
About ALT Balaji, ULLU app, but no one is talking about content creators who create pathetic content, who create vulgar content on social media platforms, on Instagram. One thing I would like to add on here. If I
let Uday Dada complete, Manvi. Let Uday Dada complete. Let Uday Dada complete, and yes, I will open phone lines in 5 minutes.
You will know the situation, how serious it is. In the last 6 months, there have been 10 cases, official cases of brother raping sister after seeing pornography. There have been 5 official cases of father raping daughter after seeing pornography. And there is one most horrendous case where a son got drunk, saw pornography and raped his own mother. And in slums, I am telling you, the situation is very serious. Because people are sleeping in one room. There are 8 brothers and sisters, parents, everybody sleeping in one room, There,
to
this
blame the
content
content creator, the so-called content creator who try to create their content on social media platform, they have gone, as in, I cannot explain you also. मदर की जो है वो बेटे के साथ है, बाप की जो है वो बेटी के साथ है. Everything is on social media platform. They see it on Instagram. You cannot blame Bollywood. And if you talk about Netflix, नहीं, हिम्मत नहीं है. Netflix, Amazon, Hotstar and whatnot, जो भी बड़ी-बड़ी apps हैं, you cannot do that because वहाँ पे propaganda films हैं. जिगरा नहीं है. जिगरा अगर है actual में, तो आप उनको भी बंद करके
Arnab, I filed a petition in the Supreme Court of India which speaks about everybody, including Netflix.
Where will you
It speaks about Amazon Prime also, and with examples. So don't blame me for that. My petition with the Supreme Court of India, which has been taken up by no less than Justice Gawai, clearly has produced evidence as to how things are.
We must be clear here. We must be clear here. As far as Ekta Kapoor is concerned, I don't know what corporate structure she has created now to try and protect herself and her mother. But she has crossed all limits. In 2020, the Martyrs Welfare Foundation chairman, Major T.C. Rao, took her to court against her XXX2, depicting army officers, family members getting intimate with other men behind their backs. And it was called an insult to our armed forces and military personnel. Aniket, did it change her approach? No. Because there must be something under this. My question to you, Aniket, is as a lawyer, is there going to be only a ban? Shouldn't there be monetary punishment, criminal punishment?
A fine.
Yeah, a fine which takes away all the money that they have earned. And perhaps a little more.
Crime?
Yes.
What is the crime for which the
Aniket.
Arnab, let me take this as an opportunity to thank the government of India for having taken such bold and concrete step to protect and preserve the moral and cultural fabric of our nation. We have seen that these OTT platforms under the garb of freedom of expression have been exploiting and corrupting the minds of young Indians. Now there is an argument that is being argued that this is under the pretext of freedom of speech and expression. There are other platforms. Why don't you ban that? Well, whoever is doing this, the law will follow its course of action. Action will be taken against them. But that does not mean that these actions should not have been taken against these 24 platforms, number one.
No,
Number two, Arnab, coming to your point, only by making the ban is not going to solve the purpose. Because let me just complete. I did not interrupt you when you were expressing yourself. You speak so much about freedom of expression, let others also express. So please take your seat. You will get your own chance. Now, as far as the aspect of whether there should be monetary fines or not, of course, yes. They have minted millions and crores of rupees by corrupting the minds of young Indians. They have been showing soft pornographic material contrary to the law, contrary to the penal code, contrary to the IT Act, and penal action must follow. And I believe the penal action will take place against them. But what is important is that whoever is going to cross this Lakshman Rekha of flouting the norms of decency and morality, action will follow. Let us not forget that freedom of expression is the cornerstone of our constitution. But this freedom of expression is not absolute. Even under Article 19, the government can impose restrictions, can take stern action in order to regulate such bodies for the interest of decency and morality, and that is what the government has done. And I think it's the appropriate step which has been taken in order to protect and preserve the cultural and moral fabric of our country.
Right. And what do you say to the argument that is being put here? One second.
What should be the next step? Arnab, I will have to speak on the next step which the government should take.
Yeah.
Arnab.
We want strengthening of the Indecent Representation of Women Act, where the maximum punishment is 3 years jail. I am telling the government to increase it to 10 years with no bail for 3 years. Now, when I said this, somebody told me that this provision is for terrorists. I said, these are cultural terrorists. So, I think the first step should be strengthening the Indecent Representation of Women Act. I have met some top leaders of the BJP and they are in agreement. So, some very strong step has to be taken further.
Now, people like Manvi are saying, Advaita, that this is a representation of society, that the poor filmmakers, their only fault is they are trying to show what is happening in our society. So she says all these people...
It's a very lame
I mean, we
argument.
should at least have enough honesty to admit that these people cannot be part of a creative community. Yes, they're creating content, but they're definitely not part of an artistic creative community. It isn't even so much about nudity or any... Great art sometimes has nudity. You know, that's always there. It's appreciated, it's critiqued. All of those things are done. This is base level. This is all about exploiting a certain mindset, catering to the lowest denominator, objectifying women, ruining psyches of young people, as well as representing relationships and family values in the most vulgar terms. I've actually downloaded one of these apps, Arnab, and skimmed through it because I wanted to be sure about what I was speaking out against.
Whatever is the
and
demand,
it's a parallel universe in terms of just the sleaze that is out there on offer. And it's shocking that, you know, young people have complete access to it. All you have to do is just say you're 18. And that's it. That's the only kind of restriction on it. And then it's a free-for-all. And the kind of storylines are so disgusting that I don't even know how people get paid to write these storylines. In fact, I don't think they're written at all. They're just on the go, on the fly, whatever is most vulgar and sleazy makes it on tape. And not to mention also, there have been cases where female actors have been exploited on these shows and pushed to do things that they are not comfortable with. So it's a whole cycle of exploitation.
No, not at all. I don't agree. I don't agree with you. But see, whatever you said, I was listening to you. It's all about demand and supply. No, you need to hear me out also. I was listening to everyone. If you try to
demand and supply, you talk about.
Scroll a feed. Or
demand for what?
And you try to search
She says,
demand, it's all about demand and supply. Are you aware of what you're saying?
What I get is yogasan.
Are, why do you always go out of subject?
On Instagram,
We are talking about the banning of these platforms.
This is how Instagram
Arnab, I need a
works
minute.
these days.
Arnab, I don't know.
It's all about
Manvi
demand
has
and
some
supply.
strange take.
Whatever you
Manvi,
try
are
to
you
type,
actually
it will
meaning
give
that
you
demand and
another-
supply?
No. Whatever you try to type, it will give you that feed only.
Who is
It will
discussing
not give you
this?
the exact feed.
That is
Whatever
not
you
the point
want.
of discussion.
If you try to type education,
Then
it
be
will not give you
legalized.
education videos.
There's a demand
It
for
will
drugs
give you
as well.
videos
Waste of
pertaining
prime
to
time.
By this
different
logic, even that should
education
be
Arnab,
legal.
Arnab, 1 minute. Arnab, can I come in for a minute? Arnab, Vikrant had earlier messaged that were we a pure society 5 years prior to today when there was no OTT? Well, even if I agree with you, Mr. Vikrant, that does not mean 5 years later I have to serve you that shit in a plate, free of cost, on your phone.
Do you have any data
That's the
saying
topic
that
of the
trans-
discussion. If you're going to generalize, and secondly,
Do you
1
have any
minute,
data which is
secondly,
saying
1
that
minute,
trans-
let me finish. Secondly,
Data.
Manvi, when you talk of things, ye to wohi hota hai, whatever is happening is being shown. Are you aware of what you're saying? Whatever is happening is being shown. I mean, diarrhea is also normal. So will you classify it as entertainment? There's got to be a line you draw. What you see in Bollywood
Manvi.
films goes through a censor board. This is a free media. There is no
I am just
censorship.
repeating
You're
your
crossing
words.
the lines.
I
That's
am
the
just
objection.
repeating your words. It's
Moral
not,
fabric
it's
is
not
being
that,
destroyed.
नहीं, ये बात सही नहीं
Did I
होगी that
talk
you
of
have made
demand
a
and
U-turn.
supply?
Manvi
You
Lauda.
have made a U-turn. You cannot change your statements. You have made a U-turn. You cannot change your statements. Your statements are on record. Whatever you talk on Republic are
statement?
recorded. Whatever you talk
What?
on Republic are
What?
on YouTube.
When did we come on and
this is no. You are
What?
You are
So
just
what?
tasting the flavor of your own
Manvi,
ice
this
cream.
is a kiddish
You are
argument
tasting the
again,
flavor of your own
expected
ice
from
cream.
you.
Do you want me to tell you that when did you
You are
What is he saying? What is saying, Manvi?
You just said
Manvi louder.
when they have Bihar elections? No, when they have Bihar elections, every time you need to target Bollywood. Bollywood is always a soft target for ruling party when there are Bihar
the
elections.
moral
पहले देखा था
fabric
सुशांत
of a
सिंह,
nation.
and now
This is something
OTT.
that should never be permitted.
कितने लोगों
This
के पेट पे
digital
लात मारोगे?
अराजकता is what I would
कितने
call
लोगों के पेट
must
पे लात
be-
मारोगे?
have targeted Bollywood in today's debate. Where has Arnab targeted Bollywood in today's debate? He's not. He's talking about those platforms that are misusing their powers. And that we support. He's not targeting Bollywood.
The only point when I'm bringing in Bollywood, Manvi, don't shout. Manvi, the only point I'm bringing in Bollywood is that it is embarrassing for me. It is embarrassing for me to have to say that Amitabh Bachchan is not speaking about this
Movies
subject.
are not part of Bollywood. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Jitendra is not speaking about this subject, maybe because of the Ekta Kapoor angle.
Platform 9, not individual.
The Khans are not speaking about this.
Contenters. Creators content.
That's the only time Arnab mentioned Bollywood when he said that the biggies should speak.
As well. You need to ban.
Oh, now that's what happens, Manvi. When somebody sees dirt,
किस कलर का पहने हो? आज पहने नहीं दिख रहा है. Arshdeep ji, you are elder. I respect you. आज पहने नहीं हो दिख रहा है.
when somebody sweeps.
आपने अरेस्ट कराया उस लड़की
Manvi,
को.
you're not understanding the point.
No, escort service.
अरे मेरे को बोलने तो दो. When somebody is sweeping a lane, you are saying the whole of India is dirty. Why are you not cleaning it? Can it happen? It has to happen.
And I'll tell you, I won't give you the full name, but you'll get to know. Shakespeare.
Manvi, you're not understanding.
Person named
You're not
Shakespeare.
understanding the point.
You check him. No, you are also not understanding. You are just trying to pinpoint few apps and websites. What I'm trying to say is if you want to ban, you need to ban all the apps along with all individual content creators' accounts.
Against platforms.
Okay, so her argument is okay, now Manvi, can you calm down? Manvi, her argument is that 1 minute, Manvi. One minute. She's saying.
Let me just say this.
Yeah, Aniket, she's saying that the same content will find its way on other apps, including those with foreign ownership. Her argument is, why don't you let Indians make money by selling cheap content?
What nonsense is this, Arnab? What nonsense.
She's saying if vulgar content makes money, then Indians make money. She's saying there are some Indians who are earning their livelihoods by being part of the dirty OTT business.
If we don't allow Indians to commit crimes, probably someone else will come to India and will do these crimes, and therefore allow these Indians to commit crimes. Is this what she's saying?
That's what she's saying. Phone call, so. Take the call short and live.
Arnab, we don't need a content of chaos. We don't need a content.
Aniket and Manvi.
Misleading the young minds of our country. And people like Manvi Taneja cannot justify this.
On OTT platform, and you are not talking about Netflix. Jigra nahi hai Netflix ke liye, but Jigra hai ALT Balaji ke liye.
No, but why are you so offended? Why are you so offended when these content that is being shown on these 24 platforms is being banned? Why are you offended so much that this content is being banned? Why are you so alright with this content being shown to the young minds of our country? Are you not interested to protect the social and moral fabric of our country? Do you not believe in sociality? Do you not believe in the integrity of our nation?
Do not put it on the...
I really don't understand, Arnab. Arnab, I really don't understand. This is digital arajakta. This is digital arajakta. हमारे देश में इस कंटेंट का कोई जगह नहीं है. हमारे देश में ऐसा कंटेंट चाहिए जो देश को दिशा दे, ना कि इस देश के युवाओं को दिशा भूल करे. मानवी तनेजा जी कह रहे हैं कि हमारे देश के लोगों को वो करने की इजाजत दे, क्योंकि अगर हमारे लोगों ने वो नहीं किया तो और कोई लोग आके करेंगे. This is absolutely absurd.
Ban Instagram.
We cannot let anybody.
Are those not
we cannot let anybody show such kind of obscene content which will really misguide.
More obscene content than what has been shown there.
And the
you go to Instagram,
government of our country has stepped in because it is the government of our country is the guardian of the moral fabric of our country.
And why you are not banning that?
Responsibility to protect the young minds of our nation, and that is what they are doing. And I really applaud the efforts of the government of India for having taken such efforts
Open the lines.
to protect the minds of our young people.
In Netflix, name called She, you will find more nudity there than what these have shown. And this Pankaj Tripathi, Mirzapur.
So are you saying because there is nudity elsewhere, nudity that is being now controlled by the government should not be controlled?
And
what sort of
Instagram,
argument is this? Government of the day has taken the action. You please bring it to the notice of the government. Other platforms which are indulging in such activities, the government will take action against them too. But there cannot be a free license by saying that because they are doing it, therefore they should also be permitted to do it. Please understand that we have to stand for what is right. This is really polluting the minds of young people. This is being served to the lowest denominator.
My question to you, why there will be no action against Instagram, Meta or Facebook if they are doing this kind of nudity and obscenity? Why only these apps?
Okay, I'll tell you why. When you talk of Google and YouTube and Facebook, they are doing a lot more than just exclusive nudity platforms. You can't just overnight ad hoc shut them. Google has a pay service, Google has a server service, Facebook has other posts. You are talking about
argument. If ALT Balaji
selling, don't speak over each other, he's listening to you.
Mixing it with the other content, then it is fine. If ALT Balaji is doing some other contents and mixing it up with the mixing up with the nudity, then it is fine.
No.
Your argument is the same.
No. When you talk of the platforms that are banned, kindly have a look at the content. They have more than 80 to 90% content targeted as obscene and meant to titillate people from that point of view, which does not happen on Facebook. Allow me to finish. That does not happen on Google. That does not happen on Netflix.
Akhil on the right.
That does not happen on Amazon. Regulatory bodies don't function in India. You need an ombudsman with a danda to kick your back. We Indians are famous as jugadus who find another way. The best thing is to ban them and fine them and set an example so that nobody else thinks that this is a great startup to get into. We should laud the government for doing this. The moral fabric has disintegrated to the level that is shocking. We were kids 40, 50 years back, buddy. Look at today's generation. There is the paradigm shift, and these things one by one are responsible. We want to ape the West, whereas the family institution has deteriorated. There is nothing called family institution in the West. And we are trying to be like them. When our Indian apps are selling this shit, it should have been banned. They have been banned. Great work done. Now Manvi will say, what about this? What? Manvi, we cannot sweep the entire country with one broom. One thing has been done. Next.
Okay, Akhil wants to come in. Akhil.
That's how we can solve this. Every time something good happens, you say, but what about that?
I am totally amused. I am totally amused.
उदय
वो गवर्नमेंट की बड़ाई लोग कर रहे हैं जो प्रोज्वल रवन्ना जिसने 2000 वीडियो सेक्स वीडियोस बनाए, हजारों औरतों के अत्याचार किया, वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जेडीएस पार्टनर है और उसको पार्लियामेंट की सीट जिताने के लिए मोदी जी कन्वेंसिंग करने गए थे और मनोहर लाल धाकड़ को 24 घंटे के अंदर बेल मिल जाती है। ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोग जो सेक्स क्राइम्स में खुद इन्वॉल्व हैं, वो ओटीटी प्लेटफॉर्म को बैन कर रहे हैं, लेकिन प्रोज्वल रवन्ना को बैन नहीं कर रहे। प्रोज्वल रवन्ना को बैन नहीं कर रहे, मनोहर लाल धाकड़ को बैन नहीं कर रहे। मनोहर लाल धाकड़ को 24 घंटे में बेल मिल जाती है, कोर्ट उन्हें बेल दे देती है। सारे सेक्स क्राइम जो हैं वो सारे भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेता करते हैं। परेशानी लेकिन ये सेक्स क्राइम्स करने वाले भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेताओं को नहीं हटाते, उनको प्रमोट करते हैं, उनसे वो अलाइनमेंट करते हैं, अलाइंस करते हैं, कर्नाटका में इलेक्शन रिग करते हैं क्योंकि वो बड़े लोग हैं, वो प्रोज्वल रवन्ना है, वो एच.डी. देवेगौड़ा के पोते हैं, उनके चाचा
अनिकेत
कर रहे हैं।
एक्सपर्ट कमिटी इन विच सेवरल हाई रैंकिंग ऑफिसर्स वर इन्वॉल्व्ड,
सबसे बड़े प्रोपोगेटर्स हैं।
अरे क्या बकवास कर रहे हो आप भाई साहब, इसमें राजनीति लाने की जरूरत नहीं है। क्या आप चाहते हो कि इस देश में युवाओं की जो सोच है वो खराब हो जाए? क्या आप चाहते हो कि इस देश के युवाओं को मिसलीड किया जाए? क्या गुमराह करना चाहते हो आप देश के युवाओं को ये सब चैनल पर दिखा करके? आप इन जो ओटीटी प्लेटफॉर्म्स है, आप उनके प्रवक्ता क्यों बन रहे हो? आप क्यों चाहते हो कि देश में अश्लीलता दिखाई जाए? क्या आप अश्लीलता के प्रतीक हो? क्या आप चाहते हो देश के युवाओं को अश्लीलता दिखाई जाए? अरे क्या बात कर रहे हो आप? इस देश में जिस देश में भगवान राम को पूजा जाता है, वहां अश्लीलता की कोई जगह नहीं है। और जो चैनल ये अश्लीलता दिखाएगी उनके खिलाफ कड़क कार्रवाई की जाएगी। और यही रोल ये देश की सरकार ने किया है। कृपया इसमें राजनीति न लाएं।
Okay, one minute. Akhil, thank you. I'm opening the lines. My first caller is Raman from Chennai. Raman from Chennai. Raman, you hear me? Raman from Chennai, are you there? Okay, Raman's not there. Uday Mahurkar, I find it interesting that even today these people are fighting back.
Nobody is fighting back. Prajwal Ravanna को arrest कीजिए.
I'll tell you, they'll make new apps with new names.
Saving them. Prajwal Ravanna को arrest कीजिए. JDS से अपना alignment तोड़िए.
Uday Mahurkar. Uday Dada. Louder.
You see, the government has to be congratulated for this step. And you see, as one of the gentlemen said,
louder
you can't do it with one broom, you know, in one sweep. You know, you cannot use Netflix to justify, because Netflix is doing this. All should be allowed to do it.
Right, others.
Your demand should be that you put a ban on Netflix also, which I have done. My petition names Netflix as well as Amazon Prime. And with lot of material.
मैं कह रहा हूँ कि regulation is more important than banning. That is why you cannot pick and choose. This is the argument.
Listen, this is coming on phone.
Pick and choosing.
This is coming on phone of children, of youth. This is all coming on phone.
Children being affected by the content which is being shown by the bigger OTT.
That this is the main reason for
two together, not same level. Aditi, please manage.
For not banning it.
Okay, I have Venkatesh Prasad, who's a retired Air Force officer from Bengaluru. Venkatesh ji, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm there, sir. सबसे पहले नमस्कार सर आपको.
नमस्कार.
और ऐसे मुद्दे उठाने के लिए, डिबेट पर लाने के लिए मैं आपको बहुत बहुत आभार प्रकट करता हूँ.
धन्यवाद.
सबसे पहले तो सर इस डर्टी पिक्चरों की जरूरत क्या है और ये कौन देख रहा है, इस पे कोई मॉनिटरिंग है? नहीं है. जैसे अभी एक पैनलिस्ट कह रहे बच्चों के फोन में भी आते हैं, तो इससे एक्चुअली हम क्या संदेश देना चाह रहे समाज को, ये मेरा विनती है सोचने के लिए इन पैनलिस्टों से जो बोल रहे फॉर सेंसरशिप एंड जो मतलब जो सेंसरशिप को अपोज कर रहे, उनसे मैं विनती करना चाहता हूँ. क्या आपके घर में मतलब ये लोग तो बहुत बूढ़े लोग हैं, इनके पोता पोतियां को देखना अलाउ करना चाहेंगे ये पिक्चरों को देखने के लिए?
मानवी, प्लीज रिप्लाई।
होता है समाज में तो
there was some disturbance in my line. What did he say?
ये क्या आपके फैमिली में अलाउ करेंगे ऐसे पिक्चरें देखना? आप अपने फैमिली में अलाउ करेंगे?
देखिए, एज अगर आपकी परमिट करती है, अगर एज आपकी परमिट करती है तो आप देख सकते हैं। अगर हम मूवी देखते हैं, कोई भी मूवी आती है, उस पर एक सर्टिफिकेट होता है 12+, 7+, 16+, 18+।
तो
अगर if your age allows, you can go and watch it. What is the harm?
What is the problem? हाँ, what is the problem?
No.
बहुत बढ़िया। This is your point of view.
If it is 16+, if it is 18+, and see, one rule, somebody was talking about regulatory body, you cannot upload pornography. So there is nothing as such कि pornography है उसके अंदर. It is erotic. So
अच्छा, ये सब
grey line
अद्वैता
जरूरी है कि what is erotic and what is pornography. It is not pornography.
Advaita.
I mean, the bottom line is that we're defending the indefensible here. Whenever you say that this is permissible, it's erotica. I mean, it's just absurd to me. The whole question of having a regulatory body came up, and the moment that there's a regulatory body, they'll say freedom of expression. Now, we've gone through this loop. We've had these debates very often. There was a suggestion for a regulatory body, and then the OTT said that we will ourselves self-regulate. We're aware of the law. Remember, this is also against the law. There are clauses in the law where this is not, this kind of perversion and vulgarity is not permitted. So the OTTs, including the ones that have been banned, said that we're going to self-regulate. They were sent multiple notices. They refused to comply with those regulations and their own promise to self-regulate. So guess what happens? You get banned. And Akash is right. They should get fined as well as banned because you didn't live up to your end of the of the deal. It's as simple and as clear as that. It's not some great argument for creative freedom.
Yep, it's as clear as that. Sanjay is calling from Bengaluru. Sanjay.
Then just say, okay, I'm
Sanjay,
Arnab, I just wanted to
take some more calls.
Tell that
ये
लोग लाल ड्रेस में जो मैडम बैठी है ना, ऐसे लोगों को लेके आते हो, ये हमारा वक्त बर्बाद करते हैं। जब दूसरा बात करता है तो ये क्यों हर बार डिस्टर्ब करती है ताकि हमारा वक्त जाहिर हो जाए। एटलीस्ट डिसेंट डिबेट को लेके आ जाए ना। ये काम छोड़ के चुप बैठे नहीं इधर। अगर ये लेडी बताती है कि 18 हुआ तो देख सकते हैं, तो प्रोस्टिट्यूशन भी लीगलाइज कर दो, थाईलैंड बना दो, बैंकॉक बना दो, सभी लीगल, जो चाहे कुछ कर सकते हैं ओपनली। कुछ रिस्ट्रिक्शन लगना चाहिए ना।
राइट
कहाँ जा रहे हैं यार सब कुछ।
There is a line you draw.
ये चैनल बैन किया तो वो चैनल बैन क्यों नहीं किया? अरे तो कुछ तो किया है ना, अगली बार उसको भी हो जाएगा। अगर 10 क्रिमिनल्स को पकड़े गए तो आप बोलोगे 20 क्या कर रहे हैं और 20 लोग, एटलीस्ट 10 तो पकड़े गए ना। ये चाहते हैं कि 10 भी नहीं पकड़े जाए, सब कुल्लम कुल्ला हो जाए रास्ते में। थैंक यू, नथिंग।
गुड पॉइंट। पार्था दास फ्रॉम अहमदाबाद। पार्था।
गुड इवनिंग।
गुड इवनिंग पार्था।
मैं जस्ट यही बोलना चाहता था, कुछ दिन पहले यही जो डर्टी ओटीटी के जो एक्टर एक्ट्रेसेस है, दे आर नाउ डूइंग पॉडकास्ट, एंड इन दिस पॉडकास्ट they are openly saying that unmarried girls should sleep with as many men as possible before their marriage. So I want to ask this opposition, people who are opposing it, will they allow it in their family? Simple question. Yes or no?
Yeah. Will they allow it in their family?
There are some on the panel.
Ask Rishikesh. No, he's been shouting.
Happens. That's why it's being shown, because it happens. So now
mixing it up with the things is not going to help. This family thing, nobody allows this such thing in the family.
Not in my family, but others' families it should be allowed.
No, I am saying
my children should not see, but others' children should see.
So I am asking this gentleman, have you seen the Bhojpuri industry the Ravi Kishan comes from? There was a song called Langa Utha De Remote Se. Is answerable for that. He is saying that I am against.
Uday Mahurkar is on the call. Uday.
No, we oppose Ravi Kishan also. I am with you on that.
So no, you are.
There cannot be any justification to question this ban.
Industry is more.
This ban is in the right direction. I applaud the Prime Minister. I applaud the government. I applaud Arnab Goswami.
Manoj Tiwari dancing with
the only one man in this country who has taken it up.
Who will be ashamed of the fact.
Withstanding all kind of pressures. So there cannot be any justification.
Old songs.
You see, if something is not happening, we'll question that. We'll question Ravi Kishan. We'll question Netflix.
No one has been
question Amazon
no
Prime.
one has been
It doesn't mean that this step which has been taken should be questioned.
No one taking care just because they are of their particular political party. Nobody going to question that.
Wait. Why are you passing judgment on the first day? Let us wait.
Sir, what
you see, I am into it for the last
that it has to be uniform. It has to be uniform.
No.
You cannot pick and choose.
Even Ekta Kapoor was close to this government. It is not like that. But when she committed something bad, they have fixed that.
No, I think what we've got to be very careful. I'll just get Rakesh Kumar from Bengaluru, last caller, for 30 seconds. Rakesh.
Sir, good evening, sir. मैं राकेश from Bangalore.
जी.
ये जो लोग अपोज कर रहे हैं, मैं इनको पूछना चाहता हूँ कि एक तो बोल रहे हैं कि डिमांड एंड सप्लाई, और मेरे हिसाब से तो जो पिक्चर में देखते हैं वही बच्चे करते हैं, तो और ये बोल रहे हैं कि जो सोसाइटी को देख के फिर पिक्चर बनाते हैं। मैं बोलता हूँ कि जो पिक्चर में देखते हैं वही बच्चे करते हैं।
करेक्ट।
तो इस पे क्या ये जवाब देंगे?
नहीं, इनको कोई इधर मतलब मोरालिटी वाले आर्ग्यूमेंट ही नहीं है। इनका डिमांड सप्लाई वाला आर्ग्यूमेंट है कि लोग अगर न्यूडिटी, सेक्स ये सब देखना चाहते हैं तो इनका कहना है कि दिखाना चाहिए, लोग जो देखना चाहे उन्हें दीजिए। ये इनकी लॉजिक है, ये इनकी फेक पाश्चात्यपन है, फेक वेस्टर्न एटीट्यूड है। लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, I thank you tonight. I thank you tonight. Now we are the only network which is carrying out a campaign, and I want to tell you something that I can only do it if you support me. I believe we must stop the Indian Cricket Board from either using the name India if they play with Pakistan. You agree with me? Join me when I'm back. Let's make this a campaign together.
Breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।